Hello everyone. So in this lesson, we are going to see introduction to Excel, and we will start with our first file that is there in your resources, which is section 1, Essential Excel, right? So in this section or module, we will learn how to get started with Excel and the basics and foundations of Excel, right? So first thing, if you open the file, the whole file when it's open, this file is called workbook, right? So within workbook, you will have these individual sheets called worksheets, right? And you will see multiple boxes within your Excel. These are called cells. Each individual box here, which is selected here, is called a cell, right? Now, when you click here, this is called a row. So, and similarly, this is called a column, right? So each cell is part of a row and a column, right? So which means this particular cell is part of third row and column E, right? So we'll learn more about identification of cells as we go forward. But next thing, what we want to understand here is the top section, which is called the ribbon, right? So whatever you see here from file, home till here is called the ribbon, right? So in this view might differ based upon which version or of Excel you are in or what operating system you are on, but the options always remain the same, right? Now, if you see each of the each in the so within the on so on the ribbon, you can see that there are multiple tabs, right? And each tab has again multiple sections like this: one, two, three, and so on, right? Now, what we're going to do is firstly understand each tab and section one by one. Okay. Now, here just below within this ribbon, you can see this is called name box. So for every cell, there will be a name. And this is called the name box, right? And this is called the formula box. Okay. So, or the formula bar, right? So we'll learn more about it as we go forward. So ribbon, tabs, sections, name bar, name box, and a formula bar, right? Now, after that, what we want to understand is here the data of the Excel sheet that we are going to work on, right? Now, here in the resources, you can see there's patient data. In this patient data is patients based in India, so who have contacted or got a virus, and the status of each of these patients is uh, either if they have discharged, if they have been admitted, or if they have been shifted from this hospital to other hospital, right? So now you can see each row has a unique patient number, right? Which means no two patients will have the same number, right? So everybody is different. Now, here date detected means when was that virus detected in that particular person, and what was the age that the person is into, what is the gender, which city they are admitted into, what state, which nationality. Some people might be traveling from overseas and from other countries, and then they might have contacted the virus also, right? So nationality and type of transmission. Local means got from same city or same place. Travel means the people were traveling or got the transmission and got that virus from there, right? TBD means to be decided, which has not been decided. We do not know if this virus has been got from the local source or while the person was traveling, right? So now this is about the data. Now, once we understand the data, what we would want to understand is about the formatting. Okay. Now we will take up formatting in our upcoming lecture. So in this lesson, we are going to see how to format your cells, right? So now, if you select any cell, you can type here anything, right? So I'm just going to say Excel is easy, right? And you click enter, it is saved there. Now, if at all you want to format it, you can go to the formatting section of the home tab. And here you can see you can change the font. You have multiple font options available. and you can select, let's say now I'm changing it from Arial Calibri to Arial, right? So now the font has been changed. Now, let's say you want to make it bold. You will be clicking on this bold option. You want to make it italics. You can click on the italics option. You can click on underline to make it underlined, right? Same way, if you click them again, you will undo each of these options. Now, let's say if you want to increase font size, you can choose from the font size here, or you can click on the increase font size here or decrease font size here. Now, there are two types of formatting here that you can do. One is to the cell. Let's say if you want to add a color to your cell, you can go to the fill option here and select a color. Now, you want to change the font size, the font color, you can go and select a different font color, right? So now, let's say if you want to undo, you can click Control Z or Command Z if you're on a Mac OS. Now, you can see here your cell is present. Now what you want to do is, if you want to add border to it, so there's a way to add border. You can click here, and there are multiple types of border you can select, right? So if you click on all borders, you can see that there's a border added here, right? So if you don't want it, you can click on it again to remove it, or click here and say no border, and then click it once. So your border will be gone. If at all you want to have only a single border, like a right border, so select the right border, and you'll see that there's a right border here, right? You can click here to zoom it further, right? So you can see that there's a right border here. You can Control Z and or Command Z to undo the same thing, right? Now, what we're going to do is, so this is about your formatting of the cell and the font, right? So now we look at alignment, right? So alignment is the next important formatting option, which will make your Excel look better, right? So now what we're going to do is first look at what is alignment, right? So now you see this particular cell is, the text is aligned towards the left, right? So if you go to this alignment section, you can see that here there is align to left. If I click on align to right, it will move towards right. If I click on center, it will move to center, right? Now, let's say if your cell was bigger than this, let's say like this is the row height. If the row height was higher, you can see that currently your text is to the bottom of the cell. Now you can choose these options to either align to bottom, align to middle, or align to top, right? So you can do a combination of this: top and left, top and right, bottom and right, or middle and center, right? So this is how you uh, use these left alignment, center aligned and right aligned options, and top aligned, middle aligned, and bottom aligned. Now, the other option here you have in your alignment is orientation. So now you see this is horizontal orientation, but let's say you, for some reason, you wanted vertical text. So if you click here, you can see that your text is now aligned vertically. For the sake of this, I will just remove the other words. So now you can see that your words, your letters are aligned vertically, oriented vertically, right? So now you're here, you can still see you can do left and right alignment here as well. Okay. Now, orientation, there are other orientations, but horizontal and vertical orientations are what we normally use, right? Now, the next thing is indentation, right? So now if you see, if I have everything left aligned, indentation means whenever you need a space from your border and the content a little, you're going to indent it towards right, right? So which means it will move towards right a little away from the border, right? Same way, if at all your text is right aligned and you want to indent it, means move it a little here, this way, you can still do it from here, right? So now you see this, this is how the indentation works. This is more useful when you are writing heading and subheading, right? So heading is left aligned and your subheading is little indented towards right. Okay. So this is how we have understood the alignment and orientation options and indentation options. Now, the next part would be to understand the wrap text and merge text. For this, I will also want you to show how to go about creating a new sheet here, right? A new worksheet. So if you see here on the plus icon, it says new sheet. When I click it, a new worksheet opens. You either double click or right click and click on rename, right? So now I'm going to double click and I'm going to say wrap and merge, right? Just temporarily, I'm adding it here and I'm just going to increase it so it is visible properly. And now you can see a plain worksheet. Now, let's say if I have a longer text like Excel is easy. Okay. Let's say the text is Excel is easy and going to learn it fast. Okay. So now you can see here, this text has overflown out of this cell, right? And now we want to actually see this within a single cell. So that is where wrap text comes. And when you click on this, all the text that you have will be visible in that single cell. And this is also dynamic, meaning if you change the row width, or column width, or row height, it will change accordingly, right? So now let's say there was more text. I'm just going to say if there was more text, you can see it will align accordingly, right? So let's say even if your row cell, anything was less or more, if your content is more, it'll automatically align, right? So a small demo would be, I'm just going to copy paste this twice. Now you can see it has dynamically changed, right? So this is wrap text. Now the next thing that we want to do is merge text, right? For example, you have two cells here. So there is data, let's say, of subjects, which are English, Hindi, science, social, and then these are marks. Let's say this is the grade. So what you want to do here is write right here. Okay, now you have written it here. But now let's say if you want to have this one particular this heading panning across all your subheadings here, you can use merge and center, right? So let's say if you click on merge and center, what will happen is you can see this particular heading is there above all of the subjects here or the subheadings, right? So here, if you do a fill of color, you can see this whole merger of these four cells will be colored, right? And this is how you can use it for your data, right? So now I have done all borders and you can see that this is the merged cell. And similarly, how do you unmerge is also very simple. Click here and say unmerge and you'll have your data unmerged and coming back to where it was. Okay. So this is how you use merge and center. We'll also see how to merge and center when you have large amounts of data, because you have to be careful, because when you sometimes merge, a few functionalities are limited, right? So like, for example, if I have to do a sort or any other additional functionality, it will not allow you because each row, we don't have four cells here, it's only single. And if you want to perform any operation on this particular column alone, you'll not be able to do it. So we'll also learn about that. But this is good for formatting, look and feel wise. You can always use these features to have your merge and centers done properly.